Hey guys, welcome back to some more reviews. The Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy, and I'm sure you guys are wondering, Nate, why is the quality low again? Didn't you get a camera that fixed this problem? Well, the issue with that is the camera that I usually use has this weird thing where it'll glitch out the sound every so often. So, in my Child's Play review, the audio kept cutting in and out, so I decided in this review to use this camera. I know it's not the greatest, and hopefully soon I can get a better camera, but I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this from now on. I might just start doing more streams. I don't know. If it doesn't bother you guys at all, I have to use this camera. I know the video quality is really low. I'm sorry about that. I really wish it wasn't. I wish my phone, because I shoot the videos on my phone, but for some reason it's doing this weird glitch thing where the sound will glitch out and it won't come back on, and it's just a weird thing. I don't know why it does it, but if it if I can somehow fix that, or if something happens, I'll let you guys know. But from now on, if I do movie reviews, unfortunately, it's going to be doing this camera. But the good thing about it is I'm able to use this microphone right here, so you guys can get at least halfway decent audio. Now, I just got done watching one of the most bizarre horror films I think I've ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen some pretty bizarre stuff. I've seen Clockwork Orange, I've seen The Shining, I've seen Suspiria, I've seen Fulci stuff like City of the Living Dead and Beyond. I've seen, you name it, I've probably seen it as far as bizarre movies go. I've seen a movie called Begotten, which is an art house movie, which I didn't really care for. It was boring. But, I have seen some pretty bizarre horror films out there. And this one, I was going into with an open mind as much as possible because a lot of people hate this movie and a lot of people love this movie. And I think for good reason. Now, am I going to sit here and say this movie is a masterpiece? I don't know. I'm going to have to watch it a couple more times because this movie is one of those movies where you got to watch it multiple times to get your full analysis on it. I mean, it's 2 hours and 7 minutes long, and it's just a lot to process. Of course, today we're talking about the big film from 2018, Hereditary, which, like I said, came out in 2008. It gets 7.3 on IMDb, and written by Ari Aster. Or Ari Aster. Ari Aster is how you say it? Ari Aster. Written by Ari Aster. And this movie, I will admit, has a lot of problems. It does. And I will admit that it does have a lot of problems. And we'll get into those problems as we get into the review. Second, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen Hereditary yet, you might not want to watch this review because I'm going to be spoiling some things in this movie, in this review. So yeah, spoiler review, spoiler alert, starting now. But to try to explain this movie's plot is going to be very difficult. This is going to be one of the hardest movies I'll ever have to review because of just how much of a different movie it really is. It's not what I'm used to seeing because this is just a very different, unique experience. This is just watching a movie. When you sit down with Hereditary and you turn the speakers up and you sit down and you really watch this movie, it is an experience. And it's either going to be an experience that you're going to look at and say, oh, this is a goof trip of a movie. This is going to be horrible. This is going to be awful. It's going to be shitty. This is fucking shit. Or you can sit down and be patient and let the movie roll. And I think that's what divides so many people with this movie, is the fact that it's a movie that doesn't have that formula to it. It doesn't have that very straightforwardness to it. It doesn't have all the answers for you. And I don't think it needs to have that stuff, because I think the way that it's done, the way that it is, I think is done very, very well. I'm not going to sit here, again, I got to watch it again. I'm not too sure if I can call it a classic or not. But what I can tell you is that I had a mixed emotions, mixed reaction, and the movie left me speechless. And I didn't know what to feel. And no other movie has done that to me besides Martyrs. Martyrs was the same way. Martyrs was just, it left you there, you were sitting there, but that was for a much different reason. I mean, that movie was very heavy. This movie is not like a very heavy movie. It's just a very psychologically breaking down and using subtlety to get to your mind. It's just a movie that will break the audience down as they're watching this movie. And if you're not liking that, then you're probably not like this movie. And I'll have to watch some other reviews, see people hate it, because this movie gets a lot of hate. Like, a lot of hate. Even though it gets a 7 out of 10 on IMDb, it's still, a lot of the horror fans that I know call it garbage. Personally, I don't know how you call this garbage. I don't know how this is garbage to people, how this is trash. I've seen trash. I've seen way worse than this movie had to offer. I just don't get it. I'll disagree. I don't understand it. Because to me, what you have in this movie is solid acting from almost everybody. Now, not everybody is perfect. Like Peter by Alex Wolff playing Peter had his problems here and there, but I thought overall, I thought was a decent actor who really had some solid scenes in the movie. You also have Gabriel Brin playing Steve, who I think out of the family is probably the weakest actor, but, he ain't horrible. It's just some of his line deliveries I have an issue with. You also have, in my opinion, an actress who deserves a freaking Oscar for this movie, because her acting was incredible. Toni Collette playing Annie. I thought she really nailed it out, and I thought she knocked it out of the park, ran and got it, and then hit another freaking home run. Her performance in this movie was great and incredible. I really enjoyed her in this movie. She's a great lead, emotionally, and just her acting, her emotional acting, her physical acting. Everything was nailed from her in this movie. She's definitely the best part of the movie for me. You also have Millie Shapiro playing Charlie. So basically this family, there's Peter, Steve, Annie, and Charlie. The grandmother has died, and Annie is given a speech for her, and she goes to these kind of group therapy sessions where she doesn't really know how to feel about it. She's not really sad because her mom wasn't really a great person, but at the same time, she kind of understood why her mom was that way because of the life that her mom had lived. She had been through a whole lot of crap, and it really affected her. And basic stuff happens. Peter is a stoner, and he one day wants to go to a party. And this is a fucking awful scene. I will fucking go into rant mode right now with this shit. So Peter wants to go to a party, right? So he tells the mom, and the mom's like, well, make sure you take your sister with you. The problem there is the mom knows he's going to go party. She knows. You want to know why she knows? Because she even asked him, all right, so why are you taking the car out? Like, she knew. She knew he was going to go out and party. So first of all, why would this mom send Charlie out with Peter to go when she knows he's going to go out and party? First problem. Second problem is, why didn't Peter just say, because she tells him to go ask Charlie if she wants to go? Why didn't he just lie and be like, oh, well, I asked her, she said she didn't want to go, but he didn't actually go and ask her. It's a lie. Why could he done that? He could just been like, oh yeah, she doesn't want to go. And yeah, the mom would be pissed off about him later, but she won't be doing the shit she does later on in the movie. So Charlie goes with Peter to go to this party. And my second thing is, he actually takes her to the party. Like, in the party, where everybody is at, drugs and alcohol everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? This is stupid. And the thing about the whole thing is, he could have said, hey, do you have a friend that I can go and drop you off to their house, maybe come by and get you on the way back home? Or some shit like that. Or, hey, do you want to go to this arcade? Or go do something else besides take her to the actual party where this is all going down at? The party. This is a teen party, taking your young sister there, and just the way that it's done is it makes Peter seem like he's an asshole, because he takes her there, then he sees, oh, they're cutting some cake over there. You might want to go get some of that cake, knowing that you're at a fucking party, you dumbass. That cake obviously has some shit in it, which it does, and he just leaves her there because he has to go smoke some pot. So he's like, all right, I'm gonna go smoke. Alright, you stay here, go have some cake, and just have fun. I'm like, why the fuck are you leaving your younger sister at this fucking party? The fuck is this shit? That's a moronic decision. That's fucking idiotic. So yeah, this part of the movie really had me heated. And it took a long time for this movie to actually pick this mistake back up. But he leaves her down there by herself. She eats the cake. Of course, she's reacting to it. She can't breathe. Which I'm assuming because there was drugs in there and she's just her reaction to the drugs. So then he takes her out of the party, right? Now, if that cake had weed in it, and he's a pothead, so he knows about weed, your body will go through reactions with weed, where you'll think you're going to literally die. But you're not going to actually die, it's your brain telling you that. So he just drives off in this car, right? On the road, driving like 1,000 miles an hour down this fucking freeway. And I don't know why he's doing this, because there's fog everywhere. It's obvious that if he does this, he's going to get into a car accident or wreck or something's going to happen, but he does it anyways. Because, like, people are like, well, he has to take her to the hospital. She's not going to really die. It's her reaction. So he can drive normally, get to the hospital. She'll be fine. Take some medicine, do whatever. You know, get the drug out of her system, do whatever they got to do. It's not going to actually kill her. It's her body's reaction to it. She thinks she's going to die, but she's not actually going to die. And if he is the character who does that stuff, he would know that. You know? I mean, anybody fucking knows that shit. I know it. It's fucking, like, pre-drug. Like, you know, all teenagers, or just pretty much all people know that, you know, there are different reactions to drugs. She's not going to really die. And he has it happen to him later in the movie, and he doesn't die. So it's the same thing here. So he's driving like 1,000 miles an hour, right? Because he's just flipping out, trying to take her to the hospital. He sees this dead deer in the road and decides, oh, swerve the car. I'm like, what are you doing? And of course, he swerves it. There's a pole right here. And the sister, for some reason, I don't know why this was done either, but she sticks her head out of the window so she can breathe, I guess. I don't know who the fuck would do that shit, but I guess she does it. She looks and, of course, smacks a pole because the guy's driving all crazy, and he kills his sister by accident. And even though that was a dumb ass, that whole shebang of that was dumb. Dumb as fuck, and I will admit it. That was some shitty ass stuff. I was raging. I was yelling the whole time while I was watching it. It was dumb and stupid, I will admit. But he has a great reaction where he realizes his sister has just died. And the camera doesn't show the body. It just shows his reaction. And you see a tear fall, and he's just sitting there. It's like a 3-minute shot, just sitting there. And I'm just like, that's a really emotional shot. And, of course, there's a stupid thing where it's like he just drives home, goes to his bed, leaves the body in the car. Why? I don't know. He just leaves the body in there. I don't know what the fuck why, but he just does it. And, of course, the next day, the mom finds the body and screams. And that whole scene was just amazing acting. And that's what I mean. Toni Collette, her acting in this movie was just so well done. Her reactions, her crying, her sorrow, her grieving, all nailed in this movie. And it's pretty much from there on, the family is pretty much broken. You know, they're having these dinners, and there's a scene where Toni Collette is just like, you know, why don't you own up to it? You killed her. She's dead. Why don't you own up to it? And even the son's like, well, you told her that she could come with me to the party, and you knew it was a party. So they're just kind of just doing that. It's a very emotional scene. I thought they both did a great job in that scene. So yeah, the family is pretty much broken. You have just a lot of tension there, a lot of suspense there, a lot of just... The movie is just uncomfortable through the entire time. It's like this uncomfortable layer to it that I thought really helped it. It was uncomfortable. It was something uneasy about this movie as you're watching it through. It's kind of like The Shining. The Shining is the same way, where you're watching it, and even though nothing's going on, there's this uneasiness about it. The shots, the music, the way it's done. And it's later on, Toni Collette finds out that she can do this seance to hear from her daughter again. and she does this ritual, and from there on, weird stuff starts happening. I mean, she starts having these weird dreams. There's a dream where her son is being attacked by fire ants and killed, pretty much, or just ants, whatever they are. But he's being, like, attacked by these ants, and it's, like, all in his eyes and mouth. There's a scene where she had the story where when she was, it's a weird story, too, where when Peter was a kid, he had dumped this is it like a polyurethane thing all over him or something like that, and she lit a match and it scared him because she thought she was going to burn him. And you kind of had this subtext there where maybe she didn't, because she has this dream. It's a very crazy scene where she's dreaming and her son is like, he wakes up and he's like, why are you trying to kill me? And then she's like, I didn't want to kill you, but I didn't want to have you, and I didn't know what to do. And the whole scene is done well. It's just uneasy, unsettling. It's just this tension there. And then all of a sudden, he's like covered in polyurethane. And then it cuts to her and she's covered in polyurethane. And she lights on fire. It's a fucking crazy scene. So that I really got into. In the third act, I thought, is when things go off the rail. You don't know where this movie's going. That's the thing. It's unpredictable. It's not generic. It's not tame. It's not dull. So I don't understand why people hate it so much. Maybe it's just because of how bizarre it is. It can seem goofy at times, maybe. It does seem goofy sometimes, I will admit. There's a scene where the mom, I guess, is possessed. And she is, like, on the roof, banging her head in this door. Because the son is in the attic. He's like, no, mommy, don't come in here, mommy, what are you doing? And the kid, sometimes when he cries, he's kind of like, eh. Besides that, I didn't really care for the rest of the acting. The rest of the acting was pretty good, in my opinion. It really was. And you just have scenes, like, they'll have this cup on the table, and it'll move by itself. And there's a scene where the mom, Annie, she throws the book into a fire, and it catches her arm on fire. And she realizes she can't burn this book without killing herself. So that was just like, okay, that's an interesting scene. This scene where the kid's at school, and he just all of a sudden gets kind of possessed for a minute and bangs his face on the desk, and he gets a bloody nose. Alright, decent scene. Or the third act, things in the third act just go off the fucking rails. It's just, you're seeing, it's like The Shining. It really is like The Shining. It's really, you're being just thrown image after image after image, scene after scene of weird stuff, like finding bodies in the attic and find out this weird twist, which is a little weird, but I thought was kind of eerie, where I guess the best way I can explain it is the grandmother had known this chick that showed Toni Collette how to do this seance. And they, I guess, were in this, satanic cult or some kind of demon cult. And they knew that if they got her to do this ritual, that it would somehow bring this curse onto the family, a kind of this curse to where people start dying and stuff. And the twist is just the way that it's done. I really thought it was a really effective twist, and the ending is just very creepy to me, where the son sees the mom and it's like weird shots, man. Like weird shots where the mom will be floating through the freaking room. She'd be floating, no music, nothing, she's just floating through. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Or when he runs and goes to the attic and he sees his mom just floating there, she's like cutting her neck on something, and he sees these naked people out of nowhere. These like naked people in the corner. It's like, what the fuck? He screams, jumps out of a window, which I don't know why he would do that. I guess he's dead, and you see this little light come over and possess him, and he does this whole thing, which is kind of the whole thing with this movie. That's the whole, I guess, that's pretty much the time you hear all the trailer stuff like that, is that kind of clucking sound. So I guess that means that Charlie possessed him, and he goes into the treehouse and finds this weird fucking scene where it's like naked people and headless corpses, and they're bowing down to him, and he turns and sees this fucking weird ass statue with the decapitated head of Charlie on it. and it's like this weird Jesus ritualistic stuff. It's a weird fucking thing. It's creepy as hell, to me at least. Maybe not to everybody else, but to me it was creepy. And the music builds and builds, and you find out that they're just like this cult, and they're saying like, "Oh, you are this demon. We gotta like praise you, and you gotta give us the answers to all the unknown questions and all that shit." And the movie ends. It's like, holy shit, what the fuck did I just watch? And it really is like that. I mean, it's a bizarre experience. It's not just sitting down and watching this movie. It's an experience, and it's an experience that you're gonna either love or hate. It's either going to be for you or not for you. And to me, I thought it was a pretty solid horror film. I mean, for modern day senses, I've seen shit like The Forest and The Gallows and Crimson Peak, and those movies suck. Cult of Chucky sucks. I've seen the bad Paranormal Activity movies. Paranormal Activity 2 through 4 are trash. And the Ghost Dimension. You got all these really bad horror movies. But this one was just very different, very unique. Just an experience, man. It's an experience. If you haven't seen it, which I don't know why you made it this far to the review if you haven't seen it, but it's just very bizarre, very different, very weird. I'll have to give another watch sometime and see if it holds up. But, yeah, I liked the bizarreness of it, how it wasn't predictable. It was unpredictable. It was shocking. It was tense. It was paced very well. It's a 2-hour-long movie, but it was paced very well. The score I really enjoyed. I like how they play around with your different emotions, and it's an emotional roller coaster. This movie is. It's an emotional roller coaster. You don't know where it's going, and I enjoyed that. The acting I thought was on par and just done very well. The acting was great in this movie. The characters, I didn't mind them. I thought actually pretty likable characters in this movie. It's just a bizarre, weird, shocking movie. Now the bad things, of course, you do have some moments that are really stupid. I didn't care for the whole thing. It got annoying because there's times in the darkness that are playing that clucking sound. It's like, it's not even really annoying. I mean, it's not even really scary. It's more annoying than it is scary. It's not scary. It's not eerie. And when you're hearing this clucking sound of the entire movie, it's just not scary. It's annoying. Also, it's not, I don't know. It's not a very, the plot is very weird and hard to follow. It's not an easy plot to follow, but I actually personally enjoy that, but it could be a problem for most people. It's a hard movie to follow. It's, as far as problems go, man, I mean, it's just some scenes I thought were just written weirdly or performed weirdly or anything like that, but really, if I'm being honest, pacing, scene-wise, acting-wise, story-wise, I enjoyed it. I don't understand the hate for it. I really don't get it. It's a movie that gets a lot of hate, and I've seen way worse than this movie. I've seen trash. This isn't trash to me. This is a very original concept that I haven't seen before. And I haven't experienced before in my entire life. This is more just a movie. It's an experience. It really is. Like Cannibal Holocaust, the experience. It's just something that you gotta watch, and maybe you'll get into it, maybe you won't. It's up to you. But I would recommend it. It's a solid horror film. It's a solid one. It's pleasantly surprising, and it's very well done. It's well shot, well acted, good score, good tension. Just an altogether very original, weird, bizarre movie that I think is pretty damn good. But yeah, it gets a lot of hate. I don't understand that. I just don't get it. I don't get the hate. I mean, maybe if you guys can explain it to me in the comments, we can discuss it and talk about it. But I really don't get why it gets a lot of hate, man. Babadook got a lot of praise, but that movie was just boring and slow, and to me it's an okay movie. But this, I legit got into. It's a pretty decent, fairly good horror film that I really did enjoy. But yeah, I was surprised by it. I was going into like, man, it's 2 hours, gonna suck. It really didn't suck. It was actually fairly good. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. That's my review on Hereditary. Very well done. I was surprised. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. It was pretty good. But yeah, anyways, guys, let me know your guys' thoughts on the movie in the comments below. Do you guys hate it? Do you guys love it? Let me know. Thanks for watching. The Explorer of Horror is out. Hopefully I can get some better quality next time. But yeah, because the quality of the video is pretty low. But anyways, thanks for watching. The Explorer of Horror is out. I was surprised by it. I recommend it. Hereditary. Surprising. Explorer of Horror is out. Bye, guys.